we supposed...
Top 10 Action Movies 2021. Movies provide us with an escape from reality and the opportunity to become immersed in realms that provide us with something that the actual world lacks. Rom-coms allow us to indulge our inner romantics while also providing the comfort of knowing that a happy ending is guaranteed. Horror films and thrillers allow us to live vicariously through danger without actually being in danger. Films based on science fiction and fantasy can transport us to alternate worlds or even universes. Action movies, of course, allow us to envision what life would be like if there were more excitement, adventure, and, of course, explosions. Before we move to the next step, please subscribe my YouTube channel so that you can be updated by my new videos. Action movies are a Hollywood staple, especially during the spring and summer, with everything from superhero films to spy sagas to epic franchises like The Fast and the Furious. Because these films typically have large budgets and gross hundreds of millions of dollars, or more, it's unprecedented for a tentpole action film to gross over $1 billion. Studios are cautious about when they release them. For example, we observed in 2020 that, anytime during a pandemic, was not a good time for studios to premiere their major action blockbusters. This list should include any film that singes your brows with explosions, stuns you with insane battle choreography, or makes your stomach spin with excruciating suspense. So far, here's what we've got. Number 10. Below Zero. Below Zero is a Spanish action thriller film directed by Liz Cools and written by Fernando Navarro and Liz Cools that was released in the year 2021. The title sequence depicts a man tormenting another man in the dark woods for information and burying him alive when he claims not to know where the missing body is. After replacing his car's punctured tire, police officer Martin is assigned to drive a prisoner transport at night. The task of transporting prisoners may have the lowest success to failure ratio in all of action filmdom. You can bet something excruciatingly stressful is going to happen when a group of jailed people is loaded into a huge vehicle. The more box-like and state-of-the-art the better. Below Zero is a particularly brutal version of the transfer gone wrong genre, a close-quarters thriller that works best when its protagonists are confined to the smallest possible space. Even as the plot unravels to reveal a more conventional revenge movie slicked with brutal violence, the Spanish film's bleak and foreboding tone carries the action, centered on a police officer tasked with working alongside a new partner to oversee a high-risk transfer, involving the deadly head of a Romanian gang across icy, barren terrain, from the first scene. Number 9. Boss Level. Boss Level is a science fiction action film directed by Joe Carnahan and written by Carnahan, Chris and Eddie Borey, based on a tale by the Boreys, that was released in 2021. Frank Grillo plays a retired special force man who seeks to break free from a never-ending time loop that ends with his death. The shattered modern action movie ecosystem has mistreated Frank Grillo, a scary scene stealer in the MCU and a winsome lead in scrappy thrillers. Grillo's throwback star power, a strand of grizzled tough guy charisma, is recognized in Boss Level, a brisk adventure that places the buff actor in a Groundhog Day-like time loop trap where he fights off attackers and dies trying every day, and filmmaker Joe Carnahan, working from a script he co-wrote with Chris and Eddie Borey, wraps his lead in self-aware 80s and 90s. Despite the film's pseudo-futuristic setting, the soundtrack, cartoonish antagonists, and video game references all harken back to a time when an actor like Grillo could have starred. The supporting cast varies from overqualified, Naomi Watts, Michelle Yeoh, to head-scratching, Mel Gibson, Rob Gronkowski. But this is entirely a Grillo show, a frequently funny but effective plea for his abilities.
Roy!
It's for you.
Roy, can you hear me?
I can't explain it right now, but I'm gonna need your help.
Number 8. Cop Shop. Director Joe Carnahan gives the classic siege film an irreverent, self-aware makeover, enlisting longtime collaborator Frank Grillo for a con man role and bringing in a grizzled Gerard Butler as a sarcastic assassin. Teddy Moretto, played by Grillo, is on the run from some bad guys and gets himself locked up in jail on purpose, and Butler's Bob Vidic, a loutish variant of his Den of Thieves character, turns in to finish the job. The only thing keeping the two from killing each other is trigger-happy rookie cop Valerie Young, played with warmth and nerve by Alexis Louder. Cop Shop moves with a pleasingly confident energy, taking time to set up side plots and let the suspense develop, despite some of the humor drifting into repetitive edgelord territory. It's worth the wait when Carnahan finally lets the blood, intestines, and bullets fly.
What'd you do?
I did what I had to do to get to you, Teddy.
Number 7. F9. Justin Lin directs F9, a 2021 American action film based on a script by Daniel Casey and Lin. It is the 9th main installment and the 10th full-length film in the Fast and Furious franchise, after the bloated fate of the Furious, which saw the Fast franchise careening off the icy cliff of self-parody and into the freezing waters of self-indulgence. Director Justin Lin, who helmed the best entry in the series with Fast 5 and saved it from direct-to-DVD purgatory with Tokyo Drift, provides a necessary course correction. He's obviously doing some important tune-up work here, stripping the series for parts and fiddling with the engine. F9 will not win you over if you find these unashamedly melodramatic, unrepentantly ridiculous films dull. The plot is basically rubbish. John Cena's villain isn't very appealing, and the comedy segments drag the film down. However, with Lin throwing everything he's got at the screen, F9 delivers when it comes to the massive set pieces, especially when a magnet is involved, and Diesel, grumbling with each line reading, remains a fascinating screen presence in these films, which, despite their ridiculous stale and unapologetic cheesiness, still feel personal to him.
Now your little family is in my world.
Number 6. Nobody. Nobody is a 2021 American action thriller film written by Derek Kolstad and directed by Ilya Naishul. The film stars Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, Christopher Lloyd, and Alexei Serebriakov, and follows a bored family guy who returns to his dangerous previous life after his house is robbed, eventually becoming the target of an angry drug lord. Bob Odenkirk fights up a bunch of thugs on a public bus and then dismantles an entire army of gangsters in a factory in this film. Whether you like Odenkirk from Better Call Saul or Mr. Show, the notion of witnessing the 58-year-old go full John Wick in a film written by John Wick writer Derek Kolstad is exciting. Fortunately, nobody generally lives up to its promise. Time together horrific, bone-chilling battle scenes with a Bourne meets Death Wish meets Taken storyline that jumps from set piece to set piece. Although he lacks Keanu Reeves' balletic grace and Liam Neeson's biblical rage, Odenkirk delivers a psychological intensity and a charming wryness to a role that a more traditional action hero would have easily walked through. Nobody may be the most pleasant injection of slick, vicious mayhem you receive from a major studio release this year, with John Wick. Chapter 4 now moved until 2022.
An old watch? Mr. Madsen, did you even take a swing?
No.
Could have taken her, Dad.
Number 5. Riders of Justice. The prospect of Mads Mikkelsen, the frightening and mesmerizing star of NBC's Hannibal and last year's Oscar winner Another Round, starring in his own Taken-style vengeance film is intriguing. However, Riders of Justice, a philosophically complex and pleasantly cerebral Danish action thriller, is more than just another Neeson-style revenge film. Mikkelsen, who sports a bushy beard and a shaved head, plays a stoic, ruthless man on the hunt for the individuals who murdered his wife. There's tension, twists, shootouts, and even a dangerous motorcycle gang in this film. But director Anders Thomas Jensen, who also wrote the screenplay, finds space in this long tale for biting comedy, most of it involving Mikkelsen's gruff commandos crew of stat-obsessed geeks, and welcome diversions into larger metaphysical issues like ethics, randomness, and chaos. With his unwavering energy, Mikkelsen keeps the story buzzing as the plot digressions and the bodies pile up.
Ja, Markus Hansen?
Number 4. Sentinel. Sentinel is a 2021 French action thriller film directed by Julien Leclerc and starring Olga Kurylenko, Marilyn Lima, and Michel Nabokov, and written by Julien Leclerc and Mathieu Serveau. Sentinel is reduced to its bare essence at 80 minutes. The protagonist, an opioid-addicted French soldier, Olga Kurylenko, guarding the nice waterfronts, advances through the film with steely determination, seeking vengeance for her sister, who was brutally attacked and raped by sleazy Russians. Though some of the fights are choppy, and parts of the plot are hard to believe, the storytelling has tremendous focus and control. When the activity occurs, it has a significant impact. Sentinel continues to illustrate director Julian Leclerc's devotion to depicting themes of murder and trauma with a feeling of moral weight and emotional realism. His previous picture, The Bouncer, which set Jean-Claude Van Damme in a similarly dark and unforgiving universe, was even sharper.
Il y a un problème.
J'arrive pas à croire que tu sois là.
Maman, tu l'étouffes là.
Number 3. Without Remorse. Stefano Sollima, the co-creator of Amazon's tense drug trafficking drama 000, knows how to make a scenario in which a soldier travels through a darkly lit location with a gun feel tense. When the author was covering them with techno-babble and right-wing politics and rolling them into his bestsellers, the broad strokes of the brutally efficient Tom Clancy adaptation Without Remorse, the killing off of a wife character with little screen time, the alliance shifting of potential allies and enemies within the deep state, the mowing down of attackers during a late-night raid gone wrong, were already tired cliches. The delight here is in the way Sollima methodically arranges each scenario, and Michael B. Jordan, who plays Clancy's rogue Navy SEAL John Kelly, leans into each cold-blooded act of vengeance, which may seem an odd word to use and describe such an often cruel movie. They make each punch land by working together.
The third member to be attacked.
Number 2. Wrath of Man. The latest Guy Ritchie crime film has a dark mood, an ominous tone, and a growing sense of doom. Wrath of Man removes Jason Statham of the audience-pleasing, wisecracking charm that made them a bright spot in the recent Fast and Furious films, working in a similar self-consciously somber register as the LA Caper Den of Thieves. The retribution setup is straightforward enough, allowing a somber Statham plenty of chances to appear cool and swat away attackers, and Ritchie nails all the traditional beats with a degree of hard-nosed style, at least for the first third. The film stumbles over its own plot in the middle, introducing too many people and muddying the chronology, but it finishes well with a suspenseful firefight in which Ritchie stages one of his long, odd career's most spectacular action sequences.
A while back, we lost 2 guards, a civilian too.
There was an investigation.
They still haven't found the scum who did it.
Number 1. The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is a superhero film released in 2021 based on the DC Comics team of the same name. DC Films, Atlas Entertainment, and the Safran Company produced the film, which was distributed by Warner Brothers. Pictures. Amanda Waller, an intelligence officer, forms 2 Task Force X teams, affectionately known as the Suicide Squad, made up of Bel Rev prison convicts who agree to carry out missions for Waller in exchange for reduced sentences. As a result of the confusion, the second squad is able to enter the country undetected. Peacemaker, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and Ratcatcher 2 make up the second team, which is led by assassin Bloodsport, who accepted the task to save his daughter from being imprisoned at Bel Rev. They find Flag at a rebel base camp and persuade rebellion leader Saul Soria to help them. I hope you find this video helpful. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe, as it really helps our channel, and do remember to give your feedback in the comments below. See you in the next video with some more interesting stories and facts.